Hey everyone, it's Crazy Apple. Today I'd like to talk to you about one of the games that I saw back in Wild Rift Asia League, wherein NAOS was able to get that 2-0 win against Rare Atom from China. For some context, this is the first couple of games from Wild Rift League Asia, and there is not a lot of precedence yet on how some of these teams play. We do know that a lot of the APAC teams play against each other, especially the Southeast Asian teams. A lot of the Chinese teams play against each other in their own respective leagues, but never in this kind of format. So a lot of speculation up in the air, and a lot of the assumptions from some people would be that China would be the stronger region compared to everyone else in Wild Rift. And that is a perfectly good assumption because the last two major international tournaments, Icons and Icons, is that China has been dominating the finals as well as a huge chunk of the playoffs we're in. I believe the last Icons tournament was top four or top three teams were all from the Chinese region. So it's gonna be a stretch, and it's gonna be a tough fight for a lot of these Southeast Asia, Asia Pacific teams, Korea and Japan as well. So this this is mostly us looking at how NAOS was able to get a 2-0 win against arguably one of the more slightly favored teams, just because they're also a Chinese team. But we're gonna see as well a couple of mistakes coming from Rare Atom in this game. But before we go for a more deeper dive, I just want to point you guys towards the compositions that we're seeing right now from these teams. Right now, NAOS does have that Ashe Gragas, Kassadin Jace, and Riven. Two champions I'd like to highlight here, the Ashe and the Gragas, specifically because these two champions, along with the Jace, have been picked in the first game, and the strategy that they're doing here is very similar to what they did in game one, wherein they lane swap this Ashe, which is being piloted by Mirmo right now from NAOS Esports, into the Baron lane to dual lane with the Baron laner. And the Baron laner is Riven, which is not necessarily a champion you usually see with a duo partner, but we're gonna see here how NAOS basically utilizes this Ashe to hamper the late game potential of the Jax. We all know Jax is the kind of champion that gets better the later the game goes. He has that split push pressure, but it's not gonna be allowed so easily by NAOS. And since this is the second game, we're gonna see a bit of adjustments from both of these teams. You see here Max on that Rakan already running up to the top side of the map, while now it's just chilling, just trying to get a bit more CS. And while they're doing that, I just want to talk a bit more of why I think Gragas is a very necessary champion in this composition, and that's specifically because he is very serviceable as a 2v1 champion, as even is going against two people, he can still farm up very safely under the turret, even just pushing it out into the middle of the lane, and that gives a very good zone of safety from the NAOS lineup. We're gonna see here a kill being given away by NAOS because it was a very good engage as well coming from Rare Atom, but that came from actually NAOS also getting that invade into the blue up side of the Rare Atom jungle side, which really shows right now how strong NAOS is in this Baron side of the map, where even though Calm did go down first, NAOS was able to trade 2 kills, and that is how dangerous this lane swap situation has allowed has it has well, dangerous for Rare Atom, and has been allowed right now to be utilized and to be taken advantage of by the side of NAOS. Still, this composition is not, I would say, very easy to do, specifically because you do have an Ashe. Yes, Ashe is a champion, has that global ultimate. Uh, it stuns for hell of a long time when you're able to hit it. But the thing is, it's still hard to land. Yes, in Wild Rift, you can move the arrow a bit, turn it a bit to the left and to the right, and even go for these like sick U-turns, but it's still not the easiest skill shot to land. And Mirmo is just really that good that it was able to land some of these ultimates later on in the game. But we're not here to talk to analyze every specific play. We're not here to shoutcast the game. Rather, I do want to just skip to a portion of the game where I think really encompasses how Naos was just able to quickly win the game. And unfortunately, that point is where they were able to get the Baron, which is a very, very far point in the game. And it this is just really to show you guys how quickly this team makes their calls and how confident they are when they sense blood in the water. They just go for it, right? And they just go and end the game off there. And while they're doing that, I just want to talk as well about some of the things they did beforehand, and that is to time it as soon as it spawns. If you see on the map right now, top side and mid lane are both shoved. So this is a very hard ask for Rare Atom, and Max tries to go for a Hail Mary. Is not going to be able to get it in the immediate beautiful ultimate from Raph. Just disengaging the fight right there on that Gragas, not allowing Rare Atom to go for any kills. And immediately the call, you could already see Naos. Get the Baron is step 1. Step 2, get the base, buy items. And step 3 is to take as many buildings away from Rare Atom, because going back into the draft, going back into the composition that Rare Atom has, they have the Jax, who is a late game monster. They have Kha'Zix and the Akali, two high burst damage assassins that when they get on top of you, they can just immediately take you out of the fight. And the longer the game goes, the later the game goes, both of these champions' damage potential just keeps ramping up. And when you make small mistakes like that, it can be taken very well, easily taken advantage of by both of these assassins. So right now we're gonna see here Naos just inching their way, and an example right there of a really, really good arrow coming from Mirmo, and the immediate call from Naos, let's get the kill and then take down towers. You see the immense pressure that they're having on the map right now. Top side, mid lane, bot side of the map is being taken away by Naos. And one thing that a bit of a spoiler, if you haven't seen the game yet, I'm going to say it right now, is after Naos takes these structures, they're going to die. A lot of the members from Naos are going to die. They won't be able to end the game here just yet. And yeah, you're going to say, that is a failed push with the Baron. But at the same time, it's not specifically because they're able to take all of the inhibitor turrets away. It's only the Nexus left, and with the composition from Rare Atom, where they have the Jax, they have the Karki, who really wants to ramp up, get into the later stages of this game to really make full potential of their late game. They're not afforded that luxury at this point, because Naos just keeps putting down the pressure. And if, let's say, this push was done by the same composition from Naos like 5 minutes from now, they're not going to have that same effect, because the items on the side from Rare Atom would allow them to win these fights more convincingly and to push out the waves even faster. And because they don't have the items yet, they don't have the moment, the levels yet on their champions, it's not gonna happen. And in the next couple of minutes, we're gonna see Naos ending the game and taking that 2-0 away from Rare Atom. And just to show, it's me jumping to about the end of the game right here, but it's mostly to explain how to show you guys the results of how of the game plan from Naos and how it went, to look back and see what went right for them and what was the strategy behind it. And it's mostly two things, right? They had the lane swap to take advantage of the top side, and they were able to get advantages from there by having the Jax on a more harder matchup and then taking the enemy buffs, going for a bit of those invades, and then after that, the transition at the mid game to quickly take a lot of these objectives. You're gonna see again another great decision from Mirmo. You can say a bit of luck that it was Morty, it was the jungler getting hit right there, but at the same time, when the arrow missed, they had vision of the jungler, so they were able to decide, hey, we're gonna take the jungler instead. He's gonna be hit by the arrow, and the immediate call as well from NAOS. And you can see here they were able to get a couple of kills, and they were able to end the game right after. Uh, and yeah, I'm just gonna let the VOD play a bit, and just want to tell you guys that uh, this was more of a surprise win, and a very much needed win as well for NAOS, because they're a fairly new team in the scene. Yes, some of the players are more known. They have been playing a lot in the Philippine professional scene, but as a team, they are fairly new. They're a group. They're a group that just came in, become a team recently. Right, so great win for them. It also shows where the level of a lot of the C teams, especially the Philippine teams as well, where 3 Philippine teams are actually playing here in WRLA. Also coming to WRLA, it was hard to figure out where the APAC teams stand. As I mentioned earlier in the video, where after RRQ showed such a great performance from last year's icons, and now they're gone. So it's kind of hard to see where they are at. And, maybe the gap is not as big as we assumed it to be. So that's something to look forward to if you have not been watching the WRLA. But yeah, that's it. I just wanted to talk about NAOS win here, honestly, just because I am, I am from the Philippines, and it's something that really, really excited me to see these teams winning, and yeah, just to break down a bit of where it all started from the draft, from the plays, and the strategies involved in the game. But I don't want to make this video too long. I want to keep it fairly short for where it is. I do see I'm at about 12 minutes at this point, so that's gonna be it for me. If you like this video and want to see more like this, please do consider liking the video and subscribing to my channel, as I'm planning to make a lot more videos in the coming months. Maybe not the same format. Gonna try some things out and see which one sticks, and maybe which ones that you guys would be preferring more into the future. But yeah, that's it for me. Thank you so much for listening, and if you're still here, again, thank you so much, and have a wonderful rest of your day.